Is we live? Is we live? Never remember how to do all this. Oh yeah. About to put the link in Twitter. What's that? Rich boy selling crack. Something how to act. Throw some D's on that bitch. Just bought a Cadillac. All right. Oh wait, is there somebody in here, or was that me doing that? Oh yeah, hopefully the mic is correct. Should I double check that? Because last time, okay, the mic is good. The mic is good. Oh yeah, Shadowbammed number 2. What happened yesterday? Oh, Champions League. Well, look, let me apologize off the rip. I'm embarrassed, y'all. I am embarrassed. Shadowbammed episode 2, Big Bam, not the little one. Back in here. This is the second episode. First episode was fun. I'm not even gonna lie. First episode was fun. We had 2 people, you know what I'm saying? Also, the StreamYard link is right there. You know what I mean? Hop up in here. I ain't go. Let's do it. I do not care. At some point, I'm gonna like figure out how to like put stuff on the screen. But I haven't really had time to figure all that out yet. And I would imagine it's very easy because I see this thing that says present right here, or maybe it's present. Maybe you get a gift. But yeah, let me just say this about Champions League really fast. I'm embarrassed. I am an Irish nationalist. I am an anti-racist. I'm a leftist, and I am an anti-fascist. I show my face though. And because of all those things, I'm completely embarrassed that I was hoping Lazio would beat Celtic yesterday. Now, I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan. I'll say that first and foremost. I'm not a fan. Like, fan culture is the most upsetting thing to me. So, like, I'm not a fan. I do like certain teams. Big Alex in the building. I do like certain teams and I do like certain players. And I do like Celtic and I do not like Lazio. But my boy Guendouzi plays for Lazio. He got loaned out to Lazio. So, like, I got to go for my boy Guendouzi. And he played the entire match yesterday. If he would have left the match and Celtics scored 3 goals, I would have been happy about that because then it also proves how good he is. But he played the whole game, so I gotta hope that Lazio wins. I can't give. I think Maurizio Sarri coaches them right now. Yeah, I can't give him a reason to bench Guendouzi or to like how it was in the beginning. Like Guendouzi will play like 60 minutes and then somebody else will come on. I needed Guendouzi to be on the pitch and they win because I love Guendouzi. I really, Aston Villa is doing really good this season. I really would love for him to reconnect with Unai Emery at Aston Villa. That'd be great. And he would be playing next to a former teammate, Boubacar Kamara, who is mid. But yeah, I was going for Lazio, the fascist team in Rome. Like even their logo is hella fascist. Oh my god! But it looks like Benfica's. But yeah, Lazio beat Celtic, and I was happy, and I'm ashamed. But like Celtic, they don't have no business going into the next round, or they barely got any business going to Europa League. Like Celtic is in Champions League every year, and they're trash. I don't know if the bottom team goes to Conference League though. That'd be nice, right? Does the bottom team in Champions League group go to Conference League, and then the third team goes to Europa? I know the third team goes to Europa. Does the fourth team go to Conference League? I feel actually no. I feel like that shouldn't happen because why would you get rewarded for that? Because you can still like win a trophy. Like West Ham won the Conference League. Oh no, wait, Roma did. I mean, whatever. Anyway, um, what games did I watch? I did watch Barcelona versus Porto. Bottom team is just out. Bottom team doesn't play anymore. We got smart people in here, and I'm dumb. What's up, Ray? What up, Big Yogi? VA in the building. Big Virginia in the building. You know what I'm saying? Chicago in the building, not Minneapolis. I want to say the big match yesterday, although I was watching Barcelona to see what would happen, that's Alex's fault. I usually wouldn't watch Barcelona versus Porto, but Alex had me thinking Porto might win. You know, I'm a big fan of Portugal teams. Alex, it was a mistake. But I did tune into PSG Newcastle in like the 85th minute or something like that. And it was a controversial handball call at the end of that match. I didn't watch the whole game. Apparently, PSG had a lot of chances. I saw that there was some criticism of Ousmane Dembele. I don't really believe people's criticism. So Alex Porto almost had it. Alex Porto didn't almost have it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there's just a difference when it comes to athleticism. Like, Barcelona has like really good players that are like athletic and like they train hard. And Porto has good players. Like they had some dude, he was fast as hell. I forget what was his name, Kawandi or Luandi or something like that. This dude, he was definitely the fastest person on the pitch. But it's like the Barcelona players are just more athletic and stronger, and like they got like more pressure, and like you can just see like ultimately like that's gonna win out sometimes. Like I watch Liga a lot over the years, and half the time PSG would be playing terrible football against like Montpellier, and Montpellier is playing good football, and then it's just like PSG just has better athletes, and it's annoying because it's just like some 1v1. Uber Eats League, I feel like is somebody hating on League? Here come the EPL fans. By the way, guys, up at the top of the StreamYard link, you can come in if you want. We can talk shit about Netanyahu. Ravana's in here hating, calling it Uber Eats League. I don't know if you're hating because like that's lame or because it's like too corporate. I don't know which one you're doing. Like, is it corny that it's Uber Eats League? Or is it like, wow, y'all sold out Uber Eats League? I don't know. But we'll see. I won't say anything until I figure that out. But Ligue 1's Gangster is really like my favorite league to watch, to be honest with you. What was I talking about? For Alex had to tell me about Porto breaking my heart. Oh, PSG Newcastle. Let me say up front, I did predict that PSG was going to win like 3-1. You're at home. When you look at those starting lineups, I'm like, dude, PSG's starting lineup is ridiculous. And you look at Newcastle's starting lineup, and apparently, like Newcastle's got some injuries. Now, granted, Newcastle did beat Chelsea 4-1 over the weekend. Chelsea sucks. But they got some people. Who are these guys? Even with Newcastle's like real starting lineup, it's kind of like, who are these guys? But I feel like that's embarrassing for Luis Enrique. It's like, damn, dude, like you got like these players and you can't beat Newcastle at home? Like, oh my God. I seen something about some tweet about Ousmane Dembele being like, I forgot. Or should I look at that tweet? Because I was like, what are y'all even talking about right now? Like, let me scroll down because I seen this tweet. Oh God, I just saw this. Zaidu was a dude from Porto. What the hell did they say about Ousmane Dembele is a cheat code? Like what? Like this fool's playing and like he's not even making an impact. Like you're drawing 1-1 to Newcastle at home off, in my opinion, a bullshit penalty call. Like that penalty call is like, I seen some of the people on CBS or whatever talking about it. Like they're all idiots. Like they don't even know how to talk about it not being a penalty because they're dumb, and I don't even think they watched the match for real. But and they're like looking at freeze frames. Like the ball came off this dude's stomach and hit his arm, and it hit his arm, and it isn't like he like moved it out of the way. Like it isn't like it came off his stomach. Like if it came off his stomach and then he like hit it like volleyballed that shit, okay, sure, that's a handball. But it came off his stomach and hit like here and went down. Like that's not a handball, dude. Like not if it comes off it. If it came off his foot and then he hit it down, sure. But like it's coming off of like 2 inches away from his body, off of his stomach. Like how are you gonna call that a handball? Now, then they had the referee lady saying like, this is how they changed the rules, and I'm like, I've been watching this. I've been watching football all season. I've seen that not called. It unfortunately with refereeing, there's just no like universal law. Like they're really just like, if the ref feels like it, it is or not. Like, at some point they're gonna get robot refs. It's just gonna be ridiculous because, yeah, I don't know. That handball was like really unfair. Now I didn't watch the whole game. Apparently, I mean, I seen the PSG fans saying that there were other penalties that weren't called that were like obvious penalties. I don't know. PSG fans are the worst, but either way, like it's a 1-1 draw. PSG is going into the last match day in second place, and they could easily they could end up last. Like they have no security in the last match day, and they're literally behind BVB, who is not even doing good in Bundesliga. Like BVB is okay, they're fourth, but they're pretty bad though. They've given up 19 goals. Like god damn. I'm just seeing this Uber Eats league, and I'm like, ooh, oh, let's get you in here so we can talk some shit. Uber Eats league. Uber Eats league. Good morning.
Good morning. I don't watch Ligue 1 like at all. My favorite player plays in Ligue 1 though. Chotard.
What?
I got him once on FIFA in a pack, and it's just been like a joke between me and my friends ever since. I do be watching his highlight reels though.
Who?
Chotard.
Are you saying his name right?
I don't think so, but that's how it's spelled. I choose to believe that's how his name is pronounced.
George Chotard. Who is
George
this guy?
Chotard.
He
That's
plays
my
for
boy.
Montpellier. He played for Montpellier. He's played for Montpellier for a while. Okay, 22. He's probably a baller.
He's not bad. He's not bad at all. I always jokingly put him at striker, like my FIFA team, or I'll put him in goal. He's obviously doesn't play either of those positions, but
now here's my question. Are you clowning Uber Eats? Are you clowning Ligue 1 for being Uber Eats league because they sold out, or because that's corny?
I mean, it's goofy, right? For your name to, I mean, in every league, right, is some goofy brand and then like the name of the league. But Uber Eats specifically is so fucking funny. Like, because something Barclays, I'm American. I don't know what that shit is. I just learned it's a bank and
You knew
not
it was a bank. You knew that was a bank.
and not an energy drink. Well, because I didn't know that what is the name of the energy drink that sponsors the one of the
Carabao.
cups? Carabao. I thought that was like a coffee shop or some shit. Or it's also a bank that sponsors La Liga, right?
Carabao?
Not Carabao.
Barclays. Yeah, Barclays is like a huge like slave bank.
Yeah.
Like, Barclays is the reason I live in America. Because I'm saying they like sponsored the slave trade.
Okay. I was like, oh, specifically.
But we're getting spicy. Uh, but yeah, okay, because look, Ligue 1 has some of the best football on the low. All these players come from France. Not all of them, obviously, but like all these French players come from there. They go to these different leagues, and it's so easy for them. But I've seen so many players come from different leagues to Ligue 1, and they're trash. They can't handle it, including Messi.
Yeah. Yeah, as a longtime anti-Messi individual, not a popular position to have. I'm a hater. I'm a hater.
Honestly, like this is how I feel about Messi. He's really good, but like they ride his dick too much. Like I can't. Like I just can't. Like it's like y'all act like this fool is like the best at everything, and I'm like, it's too much. Like I gotta be anti all you people.
Right. In like 2021, that season, he scored like 6 goals in Uber Eats League. And just seeing everybody like, oh, he deserves whatever award this year. It's just like, come on, man. He's
Can
in
we
what
just turn this to a anti-Messi stream for the rest before we talk about Man U?
well, I actually wanted to join to talk about the PSG Newcastle match because
Oh,
I watched all of it. Uh Alexander Isak, missed a clear chance in front of goal, made up for it. Newcastle got their goal. And then I think it was pretty competitive in the first half.
yeah.
After halftime, it was all PSG attacking. So I see a lot of the pundits and I share your distaste for the CBS pundits. but but the fucking all the pundits are like, PSG deserved a point, or they deserved to win this match. They were the better side. But I think that that's inherently negated by the fact that they had all these fucking chances and they couldn't score until they got a penalty. What's his name? Barcola had 4 clear chances in front of goal and just skied almost all of them. Embarrassingly, that's like $45 million kid, right? Talented individual, I think is gonna, develop really well in the future, but like just so many fucking missed opportunities, the heavy ass reliance on Mbappe, that and he can't be, he did put the French national team on his back in that final against Argentina and almost carry them to a victory, but like you can't expect him to do that every match. He's fucking talented, of course. He's a world-class player in a league of his own, but like you can't your game plan can't be get the ball to Messi or Mbappe and see what he can fucking do when you don't have, and Dembele I think has played a lot better this season than he did in the World Cup, and he had injuries, whatever, but like he missed some opportunities too. And it's just this over reliance on Mbappe that obviously is like one of the core issues that PSG has as a whole that made them so unsuccessful in that match. But like I couldn't stand hearing this. That Frank Leboeuf, of course, PSG enjoyer, being very sympathetic to them last night on the ESPN FC, was like, they deserved a point. They deserved a point. But like, if they deserved a point, they should have been finishing their chances. I don't care if they had more possession and Newcastle was on the defense the entire second half of the match. Like, they had little to defend because every time they got the ball in front of goal, they fucking skied it. Like, just embarrassing misses.
Just this notion of like like deserving. It's like, look at these players that PSG has compared to Newcastle. This
Right.
is Newcastle's first time in Champions League in like 500 years. Nobody deserves a point. Like, you're
Right.
supposed to be beating Newcastle at home with ease. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. Like, there's no like star on Newcastle. Like, Anthony Gordon is out there like doing like and I think he's a good player, but like he wouldn't play for PSG.
Right.
Like,
Almiron, good player,
good
not a
player, but he
PSG
wouldn't play
player.
for PSG. Like, come on. Like, you're telling me that this team can't score 2 goals against
Right.
Newcastle? And the over reliance on Mbappe, like I've been watching PSG for a long time. My favorite player is Cavani, so like I was watching them like all the time. They've always had a very individualistic style of play, and like for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what coach comes in. I think really they got to get rid of Mbappe because like he came from that culture too. It
Yeah.
used to be just like give the ball to Zlatan, and then it was like give the ball to Neymar, and now it's give the ball to Mbappe. You can't have a team like that. The midfield doesn't like there's no structure, there's no formation really. And yeah, it doesn't work on that level. Like it doesn't work. Like Mbappe is good, but he can't do that by himself. The
Yeah.
World Cup is different. The World Cup is like in the World Cup, Harry Maguire is like a god.
Right.
Like the World Cup, like Yerry Mina and Harry Maguire are so good. But that's because it's the World Cup. There's no good football. Yeah, then like give it to Mbappe, he can like thug it out. But in a real like competition, like no, dude, it doesn't work like that.
Right. Right. Have you ever seen the Will Ferrell movie Kicking and Screaming?
No.
Oh, never mind that. There's like a joke. He's a youth soccer coach, and they have two Italian kids on the team that are really good, and he gets super competitive in their little league, and his whole strategy is just pass to the Italians. That's essentially what PSG is doing.
Oh yeah, and
Um,
it works for like kids. It works for kids.
right.
But like, yeah. But
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it was like a
You
not
didn't think that was you didn't think that was a penalty either, right?
No, it wasn't a penalty, and you said it before, you've seen those not given. We've seen those not given this season. His arm is in a natural position. He's fucking running. The things that they call an unnatural position, like someone will be fucking jumping and they'll like move their arms to jump and they're like, that's unnatural. Like, okay. Everyone just jumps with their arms straight to their sides. Everybody runs with their arms glued to their fucking torso. I mean, that's a natural
Like a
position.
dolphin. Yeah, no, it's like even like like it hit off of his stomach, like
Right.
2 inches away from his arm. Like, how is that a penalty? Like, I've yeah, it's annoying, but whatever. Either way, like, because I saw the PSG fans saying that there were penalties that weren't called. I didn't see that, but either way, it's embarrassing for PSG that it's the last match day coming up, and you're behind BVB,
Right.
who's not good, and you're relying on winning the last match day to like not go in Europa. Like, and I would be so happy to see PSG in Europa League. That would be the best thing ever. I think Mbappe will leave in January if PSG ends up in Europa League.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's definitely leaving this summer no matter what. I 100% agree that he would probably leave if they're in Europe.
Oh yeah,
I
he's
don't
out
want
of
to
it.
see Mbappe play in Europa League. I don't think anybody wants. I mean, it was weird watching Ronaldo play in Europa League with you. He did the Sui in like Moldova. I don't want to see that shit.
Against young boys from Switzerland.
Right, right.
No,
Nobody
yeah,
wants to see that.
I'm telling you right now, like I know the French league. After PSG lost like 4-0 or whatever to Newcastle, the next week they're playing like Claremont Foot in France, and like Mbappe scoring and like I'm like, you just lost 2 days ago 4-0 to Newcastle. Like have a little humility, score against Claremont Foot
But
63. Like, come on, dude. No, he'll get in there and love it and like just pad his stats and be excited.
right. And why not? You stayed in the league. They begged you to stay. You did it. Why not?
Begged or forced.
A little bit of both. I
Yeah.
honestly still am of the opinion that the best deal for him would have been the deal where he goes to Saudi and plays for a year and then goes
Ooh.
to Real Madrid. I mean, financially, why not do it, right? Like that would have, definitely benefited him. And like it's a year in Ligue 1 or a year in Saudi. I don't.
Get a
They're not.
billion dollars.
Yeah.
Just go get a smooth billion.
Right.
Go play with Ronaldo. Go play with some other dudes. Neymar's
Jordan
there.
Henderson.
Dap up Steven Gerrard on the sideline.
Talisca,
There's 300 people in the stands.
right? The smallest stadium like he's ever played in.
Okay, Ray. Look, if you have to go, just don't even say bye. Just click out of here. Like that would be great. Hopefully, I'm looking down and look up you're gone. That would be like the best thing ever. But don't feel forced to stay in here. Like you're somebody, you get like hundreds of people in this stream, and I'm never gonna have more than 3 ever. But today, your beloved Man U, they're in Istanbul. Oh yeah, upside down.
Upside down.
They're in Istanbul and they're playing Galatasaray.
Yep. They might not play because apparently the weather is really bad. Like,
interesting.
So, like, lightning, we'll see if it clears up. That was the last I heard, though, before the stream started.
Look at you being on it. You're like one of them real fans.
I'd be watching Mark Goldbridge. I don't like him, but I'm tuned in. I'm watching the United stand, and I'm angry about everything he says.
Okay, well, if they do trot out there Marcus Rashford with his Ice Spice hair, what do you think's gonna happen? Oh, and they're playing soon, kind of.
Yeah, 12:30 my time, so like 2 hours, right? Or 11:30.
It's 9:45 my time. They're playing.
Oh, okay, so 11:45 my time. Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Oh, I think they're gonna lose. I mean,
don't be like that. Come on.
I always have a bad. I have low expectations, so I don't get too disappointed, and I always end up getting too disappointed anyway. They're coming off of some success. They had a good trip to Everton this weekend.
Ooh.
Well, it was the first time they've ever won by more than one goal this entire season.
Okay, did you watch that match?
Yeah, I watched the match.
Everton had a lot of chances.
Everton did have a lot of chances. By the end of the match, it was pretty much all United. But like at the beginning, it was definitely a lot more up in the air. When Bruno gave Rashford the ball to take the penalty, I was apprehensive because, as you mentioned, he has Ice Spice hair. Whenever he does that to his hair, it's a bad season for him. Like he had like a godlike season last season.
He did.
And I expect some ebb and flow. I expected a less good season. I didn't expect 2 goals almost what we're almost halfway through now. But that bad, but it's bad. It's looking bad. It's not good. I blame the hair partially for what's going on. It was like whenever De Gea like had a fresh lineup, I'm like, he's going to play well today. Whenever he let it grow out, he was off his game. When he got a haircut and he was in goal, I'm like, no goofy shit today. He's going to be on.
Do you remember those De Gea charges?
Wait, what?
De Gea had some interesting stuff in his past.
No, I hate that.
Yeah. With some ladies involved. He did.
What happened with Hakimi? Just like nothing ever came of that.
Like, yo, I almost said something crazy. You're gonna get away with it in Europe. Let me just say that.
Right.
Like, you're gonna be fine in the UK. You're gonna be fine. Don't even worry, dude. I'm not encouraging, obviously, but
if you were thinking of a place to do it.
I'm not going to say anything crazy. Oh, I'm not going to do it. But you're going to get away with it. You will be fine. Because we saw Mason Greenwood. We saw it, dude. We heard him.
Right.
We heard him say that he did it.
Right.
We heard him say, I asked you nicely, so I took it. And that's not enough.
We saw her beaten, bloodied body. That wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough.
And if you're a famous enough footballer, there's going to be a million websites registered in India immediately published to defend you and your innocence.
Oh, yeah. That's why the other episode, I talk about the normalization of Mason Greenwood. He's getting normalized. I see him getting talked about like, oh, he scored this goal. He's fitting in with his teammates now. Like, okay.
I remember they tried to write an article, or one manager said Jude Bellingham convinced Mason Greenwood that, this will be a good league. And his people immediately were like, Jude Bellingham has had no contact with Mason Greenwood whatsoever. This is an outright lie.
Now, don't ask if Marcus Rashford has. Okay,
But
so
yeah.
Manchester United is sitting bottom of the group right now.
Yep. Awesome.
Bayern's gonna win, I would imagine,
Right.
against Copenhagen. But if let's say Man United wins today, they'll have 6 points, and they will be in second, which is gross. But but if they don't win, they're going to be sitting on 3 again. Galatasaray will have 7, and it's just not looking good for Man U.
No.
Either way, I'm just like, shouldn't you be better than this? And the thing that scares me too, like, yeah, they did beat Everton 3-0, but I felt like Everton had some chances. Man U's already given up 11 goals in this Champions League group, which is the most. And we're talking about Copenhagen and Galatasaray.
Yeah.
It's like, are you it's like, okay, you're not going to keep a clean sheet, probably. Your defense is terrible. Like, for whatever reason, you cannot keep teams from scoring goals.
Right. There's a lot wrong with this, United
Why
team.
though? What is it?
I
Honestly, okay, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that I don't have this English sensibility. Maybe it's because my family's Irish, but that you need to back the manager. I don't understand that ideology. When Ten Hag is fucking up, when that bald fraud is fucking up, we should be able to call him out. And he is, first of all, overtraining the players, leading to injuries. You can't complain. Hi, Kitty. You can't complain about all of the injuries you have to deal with when it's your overtraining and you playing players who, the physios have said shouldn't play because they're high risk for injury. Like he did that with Wan-Bissaka, and then Wan-Bissaka was out for a month and a half because he played him at a time where the physio said he shouldn't be playing because he's close to injury. It's these types of decisions. Also, it's just beefing with players. Jadon Sancho can't play because, he defended himself against Eric Ten Hag, saying that he had a shitty attitude and was training poorly. Anthony, who beat his girlfriend, can play, though. That's fine. Anthony, who hasn't scored a goal in how long, who sucks, who can't do anything but cut inside and then miss or
and
kick
back pass.
Right. And it's like he can't, Jadon Sancho can't play, Anthony can play. Why are we supporting that kind of decision making? Why are we letting him bench Varane to play Maguire Lindelof in the back? I understand, Martinez is injured. I want Martinez to play. He can't play. That's fine. But Varane is not injured. He is just fallen out of the good graces of Ten Hag because they had some sort of personal dispute about something. But I like Lindelof. Varane is better. I don't like Maguire. Varane is better. The Varane Lindelof pairing, we're playing well together in the back. Varane's played with Maguire. These are, he could play with either of them and it would be a better pairing. We lamented the days where it was Maguire and Lindelof for years, and all these United fans are pretending they didn't hate that now because we have to back the manager. It's a stupid ideology. I don't understand it.
I would put Scott McTominay as center back. I literally put him as center back over Maguire, with no problem. Backing the manager is stupid because I'm gonna be honest. I've been doing this soccer podcasting for a long time, and I remember, and I argued with some dude from BN about this. Jurgen Klopp, who's won Champions League, won the league, looked at one of the best coaches in the world, has said, I don't have tactics. He said that himself. He said, I don't have tactics. He was like, I just put the guys in the right position, and football is simple. That's what he said.
The anti-Pep.
He's like, I don't, you just put him, I argued with the guy he was saying, their tactic is pressing. I'm like, pressing isn't a tactic. You don't need somebody to tell you to how to or to press. You do that organically. Like sometimes, hey, press. Like, come on, let's go. That's not tactics. Jurgen Klopp said it himself. Eric Ten Hag is not putting in some like tactical thing at Man U. Like they're just going out there playing and it's just not working. I guess they don't have good enough players. but I feel like there's like a key. I'm looking at Bruno Fernandes.
Right.
I feel like Bruno Fernandes, although I don't think he's a bad player, I think he's really talented actually. But I feel like maybe at his position, like maybe he's not defending enough. I'm saying maybe because like I haven't watched an EPL match in a long time. I'm gonna watch Man U Galatasaray, but I like maybe like this player who's an attacking midfielder who like wants to advance the ball when he gets it, who is like he runs around a lot. Like he's actually like an over presser. I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude, like you're not gonna steal the ball. It's not basketball, dude. Like maybe you need to like get back a bit and like getting the passing lanes a bit because for whatever reason, Man U is shipping goals.
Yeah. Yeah. And like if you look at goals they've given away, you could almost always trace back to the point where Bruno was not defending his man. And like they either, made the pass, they either made the assist, or they just went through that open space he created and scored. And like, another criticism that I think a lot of United fans were scared to make was that Ten Hag doesn't play the transfer window well at all. Why are you spending almost your entire budget on Mason Mount, who doesn't play a different role or serve a different role than Bruno? They're the same player.
Thank you. I said that. I was telling another Man U fan, I was like, Mason Mount and Bruno are the same player. You can't play them together. You can't just give Mason Mount the 7 and think like he's like some left winger or something like that. Like he is an attacking midfielder. He's good. I think he's a good player. But you can't play with him and Bruno. You cannot do it.
Yeah. And like then getting Amrabat, who is a good player, was really good on the World Cup, but I watch a lot of Serie A. Not a consistent player. Doesn't play, if you just watched him in the World Cup, you'd probably have a very different view of who he is than if you watch a lot of Serie A, if you followed his club career where, he's got on days, but he's got a lot of off days. Hoyland, good purchase, good pickup, good investment, might not pan out this season, but eventually is going to flourish into a fantastic player. I think he's got a lot of energy, and he's obviously not going to be a Holland or anything, but he's got talent there, raw talent, and it just needs to be molded a little more. Thankful that Luke Shaw is finally off the injury list, and he's not fat because Jose Mourinho just called him fat one time, and he's like extremely fit. He's a professional footballer.
He's a chubby baller, though. He's a chubby baller.
Yeah, he's got a little like Wayne Rooney. Had a shape to him. Yeah. But like Luke Shaw got benched. One good thing Ten Hag did was bench Luke Shaw at the beginning of last season, forced him to get back into shape, brought him back. He's been a stellar player ever since. He's looking good back in his position already. Happy to see it. I'll never get over the fact that Ten Hag sold Fred.
Oh, I was very much against that. Okay, can I go back to Amrabat?
Yeah.
Serie A is just not it. You can't bring some player who's good in Serie A or like decent in Serie A and think they're going to perform in EPL.
Yeah.
We saw Koulibaly be like a god Serie A center back. He came to EPL, he was trash. You know what happened? He went to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Like Serie A, like no, dude, like no. Like I need you to play somewhere where they're like really going for it. Like Serie A is boring and slow. Like, and especially for a midfielder, like when you come to EPL, it's going, dude. Like these guys are running, Like Serie A, you're like, well, why are they passing the ball? Like, no, dude. But Fred, I thought that like also I've seen Man U fans give Fred a lot of shit.
Undeserved. I love Fred.
Undeserved. I'm like, Fred is the energy in that midfield. Like, that's the player you need. And also, Fred is a really good passer. he's left-footed, but it's not like he's not like crippling left-footed like a lot of left-footed midfielders. And he has a decent shot on him too.
Yeah. Yeah, he scored more goals than Antony last season and overall. And I say that and like nobody believes me, but I'm like, go back and check the fucking record. Fred was killing it last season. Antony scored a goal in each of his first 3 games and then never scored again. Like Fred scored a brace against West Ham to keep United in the FA Cup. And like he was such a great sub. He played a lot as a sub last season. And you're right, he's got this energy to him just to reinvigorate oftentimes a somewhat dejected or slowed down United. I love the fact that everyone always posts like how black characters in video games, their hair is always done the same way. And people are like, no one actually has that hair. Fred does. Fred has that hair.
No, honestly, like especially if you have a player like Bruno Fernandes, who is like, who's like, is this nice to say? No, I feel like Bruno Fernandes is like kind of dumb a little bit. Like he just like gets it. He like gets out of the game sometimes. Like he's like not paying attention all the way. Whereas like Fred is like laser focused and he's gonna like make up for some of the shit that Bruno does. That's wrong. Like you need players like that. I feel like Blaise Matuidi was like that. Like you have a player that's just like they're gonna cover or like a N'Golo Kante. Like they're gonna cover so much ground. These guys can like kind of not care a little bit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, losing Fred I think was a big deal. You don't have any like real speed in that midfield either. Like Scott McTominay, I like Scott McTominay, but he's not fast. Casemiro's not fast. If Casemiro starts like running fast, he's getting a yellow card. Like that's gonna happen, dude.
Which is funny because like he got how many red cards last season, like suspended 3 separate times or something, never suspended in his entire time in La Liga, despite the fact that he wasn't tackling any less aggressively in La Liga. He was the person in the midfield who was doing Real Madrid's dirty work for years.
I think Casemiro, like I'm like that should have been a red card. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've seen it many times, but even with that, I feel like Casemiro's like a little bit older, I guess.
Yeah, he's like 30, 31.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just a different monster. Like I feel like EPL trains different than La Liga for sure. Man, U's going to train different than Real Madrid. You're going to be practicing against different players. Like if you're going up against Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo and Cruz and Modric and like all these ballers every day, like that's gonna keep you sharp. When you go to Man U and it's like Scott McTominay and like
I'm Scott McTominay's biggest defender. I know exactly what Scott McTominay.
Actually, I think he's a really good player, but I'm like, like he's not gonna wow you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like
yeah. Just I mean, it's not he was a huge star power, very surprising transfer. I mean, I didn't really, there's a lot of those Real Madrid players that you just expect to play there until they retire, or like they play there until they're fucking ancient and then they go back to their boyhood club for a season and like and then they finish out like that. But like that move was surprising to me, and like him and Ronaldo are like very good friends. So part of me was like, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. And then Ronaldo leaving halfway through the season is like,
I don't think Ronaldo has friends actually, but
they were living. Casemiro was living in Ronaldo's house. My partner is the biggest Ronaldo fan in the world, so I hear all of like the gossip about all of this shit. But yeah, I mean, it's been a tough season to watch. Even a lot of the wins have felt like winning by 1 to Luton Town at home. What is that? What's not a victory? That feels like shit.
Man U's sitting 6th right now. 3 wins in a row though.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Their goal differential is 0. 16 goals scored and 16 gone in. That's terrible.
Yeah.
So you think they're losing today?
You know what? If I think that they'll pull off a win just because they're coming off this 3-win streak. But
Ooh.
the weather's bad. That might suit United, who are used to playing in the fucking rain every match because it's England. And like, we'll see. We'll see. Amrabat starting, not great.
Oh, interesting. Okay, not a right back or whatever.
No, I don't know what the fuck that was. It's you have players who could play in these positions. You don't need. I mean, Malacia is injured. I think Dallo must be injured.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
You have the great Mexican player Juan Bissaka.
Wait, what?
I always spell it Juan Bissaka. I'm like, it's either Obi-Wan Bissaka or like Juan Bissaka.
I always say Obi-Wan Bissaka. I
Uh,
like him. He's, I thought he was always a, pretty good, a true.
he has no offensive ability at all, but
No.
like defensively, he's very solid.
I love when I see Wan Bissaka like accidentally get into a really good scoring position and then just like it's like tangible, the panic that he's experiencing as he's like deciding whether or not to shoot and then just having a terrible shot or just passing back.
Yeah,
I enjoy it because that's not the role he has to play at the club.
no.
You just got to be a true fullback, a true defensive fullback. He's got a lot of pace, so he can get a cross off. Okay,
Yeah.
that's Luke Shaw's job, though. That's
Yeah.
what he's there for, cross into
Yeah.
the box.
With some accuracy, but Juan Bissaka is just like, dude, just don't let anybody beat you 1v1 and you're
Right,
good to go.
right.
Okay, well, I'm also interested in the Arsenal versus Lens match because I am League Bam, Uber Eats Bam. I've never ordered Uber Eats in my life. Let me just say that. The big anti-corporate Bam here,
Nice.
and I don't stream on Twitch either. So it's fuck Jeff Bezos. No, I'm joking. But hopefully Lens can pull that off. They did beat. I think they beat Arsenal in the first match. If I'm not mistaken, they beat them that one time.
Yeah.
They're sitting third. I mean, if they end up in Europa, that's cool. But I got to go for the French teams, except for PSG. I want them to fail. Ever since Cavani left, I'm just like, I just want you guys to miss him. But yeah, we'll see what happens in a good 45 minutes. Man, I'm excited.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to go to work and prepare to watch this match and, inevitable feelings that will accompany it.
Okay. I'm going to hop off too. But if you ever come in next time, you got to just go. Like, I just want you to disappear. Like that's going to be better for me. Like, that's going to be like, I love that.
Okay.
Don't respect this platform at all. Don't do that. Anyway, guys, Shadowbammed episode 2. We had Ravana in here. That was fun. Talking about Champions League. If you see this, subscribe to the channel because that's how you'll get the notification that I'm going live. I guess if you got to put the notification thing on or something like that. But yeah, thank you for being here. Shadowbammed. It is what it is.